And good morning. Welcome in once again for Your Life Matters with clinical social worker Dr. Beth Plachetka from Safe Harbor Counseling and Dr. Beth Speaks. And we've got Dr. Beth in studio once again on a Monday. Doctor, how are we today?
I'm good, Mike. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Is today's topic, we're dealing with first responders.
Well, yes, because first responders offer a unique service to our communities and to the world, and they also have unique needs. And just to remind everybody, that's like positions like firefighters, policemen, or police officers, emergency techs, medical techs, paramedics, ER nurses, and doctors.
Sure.
And what makes them unique is that no matter how specific the information they get from whoever is on the scene, when they get this to the situation or the situation gets to them, it could be different. Because I have friends who were like the dispatchers at the police department, and the person would say something to them that would make sense and they'd relay it. But when they got there, it was something else because the person who was giving the information didn't really know. Or sometimes it's a little person calling for their mom or dad, so that you get a often wrong message.
Yeah, I mean, they're the people that are making the call are a little frantic because of whatever situation they're in, so they're not always going to be clear and concise with what they're saying.
Right, and because it's in the public eye, everyone has opinion on how things unfolded without knowing about protocols and procedures and why things happened the way they did. So it's okay to ask questions, but to make a judgment without knowing the parameters in which they are working is pretty hard. It's like watching a football game and saying that should have been a score, and but it wasn't. It wasn't. And we have friends who said he was an officer, and he said, no one's really happy to see us when we show up, even when they've called us, because they're frantic.
Yeah.
So you're always working on bringing people down. Or the time that he went to an accident where a 7-year-old was hurt on a bike badly, very badly, and then had to go home to his 7-year-old. And it was very hard on him.
Oh, yeah.
Or when you lose control of a situation, that's hard. And all of those things you have to come back from, and that takes mental health. It takes some support.
Absolutely.
And, when you think about firefighters and EMTs, paramedics and ER staff, all of them jump in the middle. They have to know the craft. They have to make quick decisions. They have to trust the team, and they have to work as a unit. That's a lot.
And do it calmly, too.
Yes, while people are saying, what's wrong with my mother? And then afterwards, there's a lot of review and reprocess so they can either make things smoother next time or say good job, hopefully. But usually they spend more time. Rarely do people congratulate themselves on doing a good job, which is important to do, mind you. When we were kids, we lived by a fire station, and every time the fire truck went out, it was a little tiny garage type thing back then. But every time that fire truck went out, I heard my dad say, God bless those firemen.
Yeah.
And he would say the same kinds of things to every ER person and emergency person he saw.
Yeah, gotta have them.
Now, I don't know if I told you or the listeners that I did an internship at the Aurora Police Department as a social worker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I learned a lot of things. A lot. And a lot about people, about life, and about full moons, by the way.
Oh, really?
Full moons are very impactful on our situations. Some of the things that are important if you're working in this is stay with your partner, know your location at all times, watch each other's backs and the doors. You don't look each other in the eye, you look beyond them to make sure nothing's coming at you. And recognize that the challenges that they have all the time, they go from boredom, you're sitting around waiting, to a crisis in 1.5 seconds. You're on your way. You got to follow the unexpected while, again, following protocols and procedures, and you go home supercharged on adrenaline, and everybody else wants to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And, and they can get it, but they don't get it. So we support our first responders.
It takes a special person to be able to do all that.
It does. And they give up a lot, and so do their families. We want to provide resources, have conversations, address the stigma, and provide rest because their lives matter.
And they are special people indeed. We salute them as always because they're doing such great work, and they got to do it calmly, like we said, which is not easy to do. All right, find out more about this topic. You can listen to this show, past shows, get resources, and more. Do it all at safeharboril.com. Safe Harbor and Dr. Beth Plachetka with Facebook page.